Hey, kids. You're listening to the internet's wettest podcast about video games, consoles, and pancakes. The SML Podcast.
What's up, everybody? This is the SML Podcast. I am your host, Joe. Joining as usual, Jacob and Aki. How are you two doing?
I'm alive. I had free time to actually play games for me, even, which was...
Really?
Yeah.
What'd you play?
I played Panzer Dragoon. I have one achievement left, and I'm about halfway to it, which is just leaving it on the dashboard for 100 fucking hours, because...
It's one of those.
Yeah. It's like I beat the entire game in like 17 minutes. Got every other game in the game except for that. And I'm like, okay, I guess I just fucking leave it here for 100 fucking hours. And I'm at like hour 41 right now.
Oh,
like,
jeez.
All right. And then the other game I just started yesterday is Sable. Because that looked really chill.
We'll have to talk about that in a few minutes. But we have a guest joining us. Welcoming back to the show, Ryan Niemiller. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you, my docking friends?
Oh, my.
Oh, you.
Don't say we're docking just yet. I mean, that's not till after the show.
Yeah.
No, I like to get right to it. I'm a busy man. I got things to do. We talk first, talk after.
He's got shit to do, literally.
Yeah.
Let's get this over and done with.
Yeah, I just had dinner, so I have got something brewing right now. So.
What'd you have for dinner?
To be funny. I had orange chicken. We had some Costco orange chicken. It was actually very good.
Nice. We don't have Costco
I'm
out
obviously
here.
a fancy
so.
boy now that I've been on television a few times. I can get Costco
Living
orange
large.
chicken.
So how many switches are you up to?
I'm up to 11.
You're
Still
up
11
to 11.
right Yeah.
No OLED yet?
I looked this week. I couldn't find the white one when those go up. If I'm going to get the OLED, I want the white one just as a unique color. So I want that one.
Unique.
So far, just 11.
Love the word unique.
Mm.
We'll have to tell you
all
about
11 of my switches are unique.
we'll have to tell you about the unique story with the show sometime when we're not on the air. And
Okay. Did I accidentally trigger something there? Was that
kind of?
It seems like the mood changed.
Oh no, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It is unique. Take a shot every time someone says unique. There was a writer that we were following online who overused the word unique to the point where whenever we notice it in a video game write-up, we call it out and we're like, unique.
Yeah, he might use like 2 or 3 uniques in a fucking sentence. It was crazy.
It was pretty impressive how unique his writing style was.
I noticed that a lot with the ones that I would. This game is absolutely. So I see that a lot in reviews as well. It'll be absolutely, and then some other
Comment.
over the top. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. See a lot of those in an 8-minute video. You can hear 8 or 9 of those in a lot of different people. And I get it. Like it's hard.
I
to
absolutely
write.
agree.
I'm son of a bitch. I get that like writing is difficult to keep things like fresh, but like you need to proofread your script, especially if it's a short video. You can't have like 10 of the same word in a 10-minute video.
That's why we don't have a script.
Exactly. That's why if we repeat ourselves, it's because we're idiots in real time.
Yes. Yes, we are. But yeah, it's just anytime the word unique comes up, sometimes we have people in chat hit exclamation unique and everyone does a shot, and the real jackpot is when you get unique experience together. That's when
unique experience.
Yes, that is when shit goes crazy.
I'll keep that in mind when I do my review later.
Yeah, so you're going to be doing a review for us. Are you excited about that?
I am. We'll see if playing the game was enough preparation. But I actually played
I would hope so.
I feel that's like 95% of the work, right? Just actually playing the game you're supposed to review.
Yeah, usually, yeah.
99%.
And then just wing it. Then just make sure I have a very unique perspective compared to everybody else. That's all.
Yeah, the other 5% is remembering to not say the C word, Aki.
I like
children.
Catharsis?
Yes.
Every time y'all say a different word, I immediately want to say no.
Constantinople.
Cookie Monster.
You have no idea how hard it is for me not to say that word just to correct you guys. Oh.
Colorado.
It's cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah, you said cruel yourself. That's crazy.
So, what is the word?
No one's going to say it. It's just going to be silent. Cunt, Jacob. The word was cunt.
I thought this was like a Pee-wee's Playhouse, like word of the day.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We should do that. Say it again, Joe.
Anytime someone says unique.
Ooh, yeah. All right. I could do that. We used to do that at a library I worked at, me and a few of the work studies, because they didn't watch Pee-wee's Playhouse as a kid, so like I talked about the concept, and we ended up doing a word of the day, which was pretty fun because it kept all the kids on their toes and stuff like that. And actually paying attention to our directions that we were giving them. And then one day one of us was a dumb idiot and decided to make the word of the day book. So, we're working at a library. The word of the day is book.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it was like, after like 2 hours of it, my director was just like, all right, that's enough. You guys aren't doing that anymore.
How many times was the word Constantinople?
Never.
It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, how often is Constantinople going to come up at a library?
I don't know. How many times?
I don't know.
You tell
you're
us.
reading a history book.
You're the one who works in the library. You tell us.
Ryan, please. Assuming people read books. No.
Yeah, I've listened to books before. Does that count?
I mean, sure. Why not? I mean, I'll count it.
I've dabbled in listening to things before.
I've listened to a podcast once or twice. While I was editing this
just
one.
It wasn't. Just not your own.
Yeah, pretty much. I can't stand the host.
That's
fucking
fair.
awful at his job.
The reviewers are also a bit shit too.
We all suck. Anyway, someone else that also sucks is Bobby Kotick over at Activision. It is now up to over 700 employees have petitioned to remove Bobby Kotick as the CEO of the company.
It's more. It's now 1,200.
Oh, 1,200? Nice.
It's not going to happen, though, because the board already said they're not getting rid of him.
No, they fucking should.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things that, Phil Spencer weighed in on it today. So, I mean, if someone like Microsoft just goes, okay, we're out, you're not going to put anything on our platforms anymore, that might sway that a little bit.
Yeah, Sony released a statement against it as well. What, yesterday? They're like, listen, we don't condone this shit. I think they were removing Vanguard banners from the PlayStation shop. It's getting ugly for Activision. They need to clean their shit up.
Good. I hope all of Activision goes under and all of its employees get picked up by other places that treat them better. Because Activision's shit.
Someone was wondering, what if this tanks the value of Activision to the point that someone like Sony or Microsoft buys them?
I'd be for that, because then they could get rid of all the assholes in it and still have great team that works on decent games. I'd be 100% fine with that. That'd be awesome.
What do you guys think of that?
I was thinking we could pull our money together and we could buy it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if Ryan can stop his crippling Switch addiction, I think he could probably.
If I sell 4 or 5 Switches, I can buy most of the company right now.
There you go. I mean, it's math, really.
I mean, I got $300 in my bank account right now. I was going to use it for the Black Friday sale on Xbox, but if we're buying Activision Blizzard, I can do that instead.
I mean, you should have like $50 left over, right?
Maybe. I want to get Lost Judgment. The Ultimate Edition went from 90 down to like 53.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was an Ultimate Edition of that. I thought there was just it. I didn't realize there was DLC or anything to
Oh,
it.
of course, they got to crank out the DLC. Why wouldn't they?
Well, as far as I'm aware, none of the other ones had DLC, so I just didn't expect it to.
What? None of the Yakuza games?
Yeah, I don't think they do they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they have like extra missions and like clothes you can wear and shit like that. Yeah.
So all I'm hearing is I have more shit to buy for my.
I mean, none of it's really necessary to like completing the game and stuff like that.
It is.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
I know
no
you want to
video games are
funky fly fresh,
necessary.
but you know,
To me, that stuff is just as necessary as the game itself, which is why I have all the DLC for every version of Sleeping Dogs that I own.
you are the reason why Bethesda is able to get away with horse armor.
No, because I don't buy Bethesda games very often.
Oh my god, it's a joke, Aki.
Still,
He's got, well, actually,
Yeah.
well, actually, I am not a fan of Bethesda.
if they added that into the Fallout games, then I'd definitely be the fucking reason for it.
I mean, they're getting close.
Yeah, I refuse to play Fallout 76 though, so.
Anyway, some more news. There was an Xbox 20th anniversary event. A lot of people were going into this like, oh, we're going to get all the latest news and all the biggest reveals. And Microsoft was like, listen, temper your expectations. We're not dropping any new game release news. So, you know, just keep that shit in mind. They did talk about Power On, the story of Xbox, a 6-part documentary series that's coming. That's going to be releasing December 13th.
Yippee, I guess.
I would watch that. I think that stuff's interesting.
It
Jacob,
could
you're the
be,
movie
yeah.
guy. What do you think?
I mean, I've watched like video game documentaries before. I mean, it's either going to be 6 hour. I mean, how long is it? It's going to be like 6 1-hour episodes or something.
I don't know how long the episodes are, but it is 6-part. So I would imagine like at least 42 minutes each episode.
Okay, so
That's
gonna
my guess.
ballpark 6 hours
Yeah.
anyway. But you know, so it's either going to be 6 hours of a lot of informative stuff, or it's going to be 6 hours of Microsoft jerking themselves off.
It could be a mix, 50-50
Yeah,
split.
it could be both. Yeah.
It could be 3 hours of jerking, 3 hours of, oh, I learned something.
Well, I'm just like jerking off can be educational as well.
I mean, yeah, like that's what old National Geographics are for.
All right.
I mean, people ask me how I do it all the time. If I was to show you, it'd be very educational for society.
Well, I mean, we can use the image for the YouTube video. We'll just blur parts out.
Oh my god.
So what were you saying, Jacob? You forgot. Phil Spencer was wearing a Halo Infinite shirt, so I know that's always big news on what shirt he's wearing. The biggest, I think, usually, yeah.
Do people actually get excited about his t-shirts?
Yes, they do.
Why?
Because he's worn like Easter eggs in the past.
Yeah, it's that and the shelves behind his desk.
Yeah.
He should really just fuck with people and wear like a Firefly t-shirt. It's like, oh my god, they're going to bring back Firefly? I'm just fucking with you.
That would hurt my soul so much. Oh.
I mean, I love Firefly, but honestly, I'd be like, that's a pretty good joke.
You know what I love? Backward compatibility.
Okay.
And they unleashed 76 new backward compatibility, backward compatible games. Holy shit, 76 new games.
And
some are on Game Pass.
Are there?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of them were on Game Pass.
They have beautiful Katamari's on it.
Is it? I know the other Katamari game is on there.
I will check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure I saw it on there.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm checking that right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'll go through. I'm not going to name all the games, but we've got to mention some of the highlights. I'm thrilled that 50 Cent Blood on the Sand is playable.
Hell yeah.
That game is fantastic.
And I'm pretty sure I still have my copy, so I'm pretty stoked.
No idea what it is.
Oh,
do you know
that's a game you need to play.
Rapper, right?
Yeah. And the whole thing is, like, he's over in, like, some unnamed, like, Middle Eastern country, and like shit goes down while he's at a strip club, and so he has to fight his way out to get to like the airport or whatever. Or does he have to perform a concert or something?
No, he has to rescue a diamond encrusted skull or some shit.
That's right. Yeah, I think that's in there too. And it's just like the whole thing is just absolutely ridiculous.
It's an autobiographical game. By
it
the
is.
Way. That is a true true story.
Although it was actually based on Ryan's life.
Yeah, I sold the rights to Fitty.
Right. Exactly.
Have you played that game, Ryan?
I have not. I've heard they're fun. I've heard they're and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the general like voice I've heard about those games has always been they're not good games, but they're fun games, and that's enough for me.
I don't know about the first one. Bulletproof, I heard was terrible.
Was kind of crap. Like it was okay,
but Blood on the Sand is like Army of Two: The 40th Day. It's just a really awesome co-op shooter. It is legit fantastic, and I'm amazed that it's part of the backward compatibility lineup with all the licensing involved in that game.
Okay, I could get behind that then.
It's pretty friggin' great. Jacob, I know you're excited. Advent Rising is there.
Hell yeah. One of my favorites.
Achievement hunters are thrilled that Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Burning Earth.
I got my 1,000 points. I never need to play that game ever again.
Ryan, did you get your 1,000 in that?
Oh, years ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Aki?
I actually got through the first act. It's not terrible. Like
you played it for more than 5 minutes?
Oh yeah,
Why?
Because I was dumb and I didn't understand how I was supposed to get the achievement. I thought I could just hit everyone. I didn't realize I was supposed to do the special attack.
Yeah.
On everyone, and so I wiped everyone out real quick, and I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. Maybe I just have to keep playing. And so I spent over an hour in the game thus far. It's not. I mean, it's passable, 2D platforming and 3D fighter, quote unquote. For 2007, I'd give it a fuck it, try it nowadays.
You're not reviewing anyway. The Dead or Alive series is there. Ultimate 1 and 2, 3 and 4. The Fear series.
That at the extreme. I'm disappointed that the Extreme Beach Volleyball series did not get the.
Oh, I know that would have been fun. But the Fear series, Fear 2, Fear 3, and Fear Files. Gladius and Gun Valkyrie from the original Xbox. Jacob, I know you're excited. Lego Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because I did have to buy my disc version, and I'm waiting to see if Lego will actually make the other one available in the store now. Because that's what they did with The Hobbit. They just secretly released it one day, or relisted, I should say, when Lego was having a sale. So not last sale that they had, but it was the one before that. They just randomly relisted Lego The Hobbit. So I'm hoping that Lego Lord of the Rings comes back.
We'll see. But some other games that came back. Manhunt, Max Payne 1, 2, and 3, Mortal Kombat, and Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe. So when people talk about, Xbox has trouble with licensing and that's one of the limitations, bullshit. If you could get 50 Cent in Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe, you can't get Viking from Sega. You can't get the cave shooters. I don't know. Nier is part of the program. The Otogi games, Oni-chan-bara, Bikini Samurai Squad. I know everyone's excited about that one.
Dude, I still got my copy. And I own both movies.
That's sad. Risen 1 and 2, but for some reason not Risen 3. That has me pissed. Why? Why bring 2 of them but not the third? Sacred 2, Skate 2, a bunch of Star Wars games.
Hold on, can I interrupt you about Skate 2?
Sure.
Because, that's also news.
We were going. I'm getting to that later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I would like to say this about the Star Wars things. It's really cool that they bring in a bunch of them. I'm also really surprised that Star Wars Obi-Wan is not among them. Because I honestly figured that they were just going to bring back everything Star Wars related because it's Disney and they like money.
Yeah, I don't know. I still hope that they aren't serious about saying, like, they insist that this is the final batch of games, but they said that before when they shut the program down. I hope, if nothing else, they do like yearly batches like this. You know, Phil Spencer's going on talking about how we should have legal emulation and, you know, preserving video games. Like, take your own fucking advice and keep your own program going. You got 700 of over 3,000 games available across Xbox and Xbox 360. They can do better. That's a failing grade.
Well, they're fine with other people having to spend their money. They don't want to spend theirs, though.
Well, and on top of it, I mean, like, how many of those are games that, like, can't be brought back? I mean, like, I can't see them spending the time to, like, bring back Rocky and Bullwinkle for Xbox 360.
I know. I mean, there's obviously going to be some licensing issues, but why can't, you know, Risen 3? There's one. I mentioned that one before. Arx Fatalis for the original Xbox. That's a Bethesda game. Why don't we have that?
Why not Wing Commander Arena? Like, EA still has the servers on for that game. Because they know that the Wing Commander community will pitch a fit if they don't. But it's just like, the only way you can play it is on Xbox 360, and it was just last year that for some reason EA made it for sale over in Japan.
Yeah.
On the marketplace. Like, what?
I think it's dumb that
for what they don't have. How about we celebrate that Rio is now playable based on the animated movie Rio.
Listen, man, I was going to save that one for last, but now I guess we're going to have to wrap up with Chicken Little.
I said in an achievement contest last week, I actually played through all of Rio on my 360.
How was it?
As someone who owns the movies that game is based off of, I'm kind of excited to play that myself.
It's honestly, it's like a Mario Party kind of game. It's like a lot of mini game stuff. It's honestly not terrible. It's not, but it's to get a 1,000 gamer score completion of it. It's very repetitive. You play a lot of the same stuff over and over again. But it's a fun 6 hours for a game that takes about 9.
Fair.
Yeah, I was really hoping it was going to be some sort of single player thing where you played as the macaw. That would have been cute. Oh well.
You can play as one of 6 birds, if that helps.
Oh boy.
Dad, that makes me sad.
Anyway, 30 new games got FPS boosts. I don't have the list of those, but there's a lot of good stuff like the Gears games, Dead Space, I think Fable Anniversary and Fable 3.
Yeah, Fallout 3, New Vegas.
Good shit.
Far Cry, Final Fantasy 13-2, and Lightning Returns.
The worst of them all.
Wait, what are we talking about?
FPS boost.
Oh, yeah. Didn't Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transformed get it too?
Yep.
I think a few Sonic games got it.
Generations and Unleashed as well.
But not Sonic 06. Sons of bitches.
Bastards.
I don't know if FPS boost will fix that alone.
Not even a vet could fix that game.
Oh, Lord. The big news of the anniversary event was that the Halo multiplayer, infinite multiplayer, hey, what the fuck did I write? Am I drunk? The Halo Infinite multiplayer starts today or that day, and it later got over 270,000 players concurrently on Steam.
That doesn't shock me.
Yeah, I think the highest Forza had was like
in the first hour, right?
It was ridiculous. It just blew up. And then Forza Horizon, like just before the show went live, I got an email from Microsoft that Forza Horizon 5 has hit over 10 million players.
Jeez.
Nice.
That is crazy.
Ryan, I know you love your Forza. What do you think of it?
I love it. I've already put in a good 15, 20 hours so far. So I'm really enjoying it. It's for me, I don't know why it's caught people, because I've always liked the series. So it's, for me, it's kind of like more of the same. And I mean that in a good way. Like, it's just, a bigger area to do the things I love to do in these games. Great. It seems to have caught people who are like casual fans or never played it before. It has really latched onto them in a meaningful way. I think the game's great. I think it has a legit chance for, whatever it's worth to be Game of the Year in a lot of places, except for the Game Awards where it wasn't even nominated for some
Fuck the
reason.
Game Awards. I'm legit pissed that Forza got snubbed by the Game Awards because apparently the deadline for games to release was like November 15th or 18th or something like that. But the deadline to get your ballots in was November 4th. That's bullshit. That is completely unfair to whatever games release in that window.
Yeah,
I think it's nominated for other stuff like Best Racing Game and things like that.
So. I know. And it just got snubbed for Game of the Year. Look on Metacritic. It is literally the Game of the Year.
Yeah, I think the show shouldn't even be on until like January and then have literally for that year.
I mean, Aki is right in that regard. At the same time, I just watched everyone on Twitter like shit a brick about it, and I'm just sitting there, just like, do you fucks not remember that like way back in like 2005 they nominated GoldenEye Rogue Agent for every goddamn thing under the sun, and it hadn't even come out yet.
Wow.
They nominated it for everything. A game they couldn't even have played. And like, yeah, it released by the time that the Game Awards came out, but it wasn't even out when the nominations, like when they announced them. Like, I've never taken this game, like the Game Awards, seriously. Never will. Like, it's just a bunch of people jacking each other off.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all nonsense, but it's the principle of the thing. Like, there is some bragging rights to it. It's kind of to use a real life example for me. Like, getting third place on America's Got Talent was cooler than just making top 10. It gives me something tangible. It doesn't matter. You win exactly the same amount of no money in third place as you do 10th place. But it's a lot cooler to say, oh yeah, I was third instead of I was there.
I mean,
did you get to go on like a tour afterwards at least?
I did the so the prize that Cody Lee won, the Vegas weekend, I was on those shows. I just wasn't the headliner of those shows, but I got to work the weekend and still do it.
That's cool.
And I've done fine since, so I'm okay. But third is still better than 10th.
Women are constantly throwing themselves at you, so it works.
I know, to the point that one of them was even dumb enough to marry me.
Nice. I suckered one into it too.
I know. These idiot women, they don't even know how stupid and useless we are.
I'm pretty sure they know exactly.
That's true. They married us in spite of it.
Yeah. Like, I'll make something out of that guy. No, you won't. No, you won't.
I'm almost 40. That ship has sailed. This is what it is going to be.
This is as good as it's ever going to get. It is downhill from here.
I peaked at like 34. So I mean, you already got me on the decline.
Hey, based on our viewer numbers, I think we're peaking now. So
yeah.
I'm excited. Our views have actually been going up recently, so that's cool. I blame all of you for being awesome and coming on and hanging out. So I thought the show would go through some rough times, and apparently we're just doing better now. So what's that tell you?
It's obviously the shit posting on Facebook.
Yes, obviously. God damn. Game Pass. We got to talk about Game Pass. A lot of games coming to Game Pass. November 17th, we got Next Space Rebels, which was a day one launch. November 18th, we got Exo 1, which was a day one launch. Undungeon, which was a day one launch. My Friend Pedro and Fae Tactics. Then next week,
Pedro on?
Yeah, it left and came back.
Oh, is that the first game to do that?
Oh no, there have been a few that have left and came back. And then next week, we are getting Mortal Shell on the 23rd, along with Evil Genius 2 at the end of the month, and Deer Simulator.
Was Deer Simulator on there before?
No, that's a new release. That's going to be a day one launch.
Also, we're getting Lawnmower Simulator too.
Are we?
They announced it today. I don't know if it's coming by the end of the month, though.
Oh, I'm excited about Deer Simulator. That looks ridiculous. Not all good news, though. Games have to leave Game Pass. Call of the Sea is leaving. FIFA 19. Football Manager 2021 for PC and Xbox Edition. Haven, Hello Neighbor, Morkred, and Valhalla, a cyberpunk bartender action. On PC, those games are all leaving at the end of the month.
Well, that's a shame.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Aki.
Oh, that's a shame because some of those are really good games. I really liked Valhalla, and Haven is absolutely amazing, and I still think everyone should go play that.
Yeah, I'm also in agreement about Haven. I'm actually going to be picking that up now that it's leaving. Honestly, Haven would have been one of my Game of the Year contenders if it hadn't been released last year.
I think
you say that about so many games, Jacob.
You know what? That's because there's a lot of fucking good games.
They can't all be Game of the Year.
That's why they're contenders. There will still only be one.
Someone's got to get third place, Jacob.
Yeah. Third place, best place.
To me, Haven was probably one of the cutest games released that entire year. It made me cry. It was so adorable. I loved that game.
Yeah, but you cry at Lifetime movies. Let's not,
Don't watch Lifetime movies.
Whatever. Oh my god.
You're so bad. So bad at improv. You got to yes and that. Actually, I don't even subscribe to Lifetime.
My cable package doesn't have Lifetime Movie Network.
I don't have cable at all.
Oh my god.
For the love of...
Oh, Jesus.
For Christmas, we're buying you improv classes. Good lord.
I like correcting you, though. That's more fun.
It is fun. Just pissing you off. That is really fun.
I'm not pissed off.
It was confirmed that...
fucking man!
I hate everybody.
More Game Pass news. It was confirmed that Windjammers 2 is going to be coming to Xbox One, Series X and S, and will launch on Game Pass.
Cool, I think.
The first one's fun.
Yeah.
It gets a little repetitive, but like it's a fun like party game.
I think Game Pass is going to be a great fit for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Private Division felt that Roll 7 was a good fit for them as they acquired the creators of the Ollie Ollie series.
Don't know that series.
You don't know Ollie Ollie? What about Not a Hero? No,
Nope.
What was it? Was it Not a Hero?
Something like that. I forget.
Something.
I thought the games like you. Back when I first got my Xbox One, you gave me like a bunch of game keys and shit like that, and those were like some of the first ones I played. Like they were okay. Like
I love that game. I thought it was great. I can't remember the fucking name of it, but I thought it was great.
Well, because I also got the Ollie Ollie games because you had given me those, and I was just like, these are okay, but I never really returned to them.
Yeah, it is Not a Hero.
They're working on like a new one, and I saw some of the graphics for it, and I was just like, okay, I'm willing to give this another shot.
Yeah, Ollie Ollie World is the game they're working on, which was going to be released through Private Division, and now Private Division just put a ring on it.
Thank you.
Fancy. You mentioned Skate 2, or we talked about Skate 2 earlier, and this was the news you wanted to talk about. Just in time for it to be added to the backward compatibility list, they're shutting down the servers.
Woo, go in!
That's ill-timed.
This is why I like peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer works better.
Oh, well. But
So docking?
Are we going back to docking again? Oh, Jesus.
We never left it as far as I'm concerned.
Ooh.
Well, yeah. I mean, you have to like move away from each other for the docking to stop.
I hate this show.
If that's how you feel, think about how I feel listening to a bunch of dudes talking about docking with each other.
I figured you would love this.
I was going to say, you're just upset that you're not invited.
Okay, penis and V is a real thing, okay? Leave me alone.
Don't worry, they're no fun. They get in the way. According to an interview with Phil Spencer, it is looking very much like the Elder Scrolls 6 will in fact be an Xbox exclusive, shocking absolutely nobody.
It just makes me happy.
Why?
Because all the Sony fanboys were always like, oh, Xbox has no fucking exclusives. They're garbage. And we just took one of their favorite games away from them. Fuck. I don't like it, but I really like just saying fuck you to those people. So,
or you could just ignore them. I mean, like, life's too short to get caught up in their Twitter bullshit of like replying, Xbox has no exclusives to like every single fucking post Xbox does. Like, it's why I honestly never read any comments on anything Xbox posts, because I'm just like,
but you forget,
nothing worthwhile is going to be found in here.
You forget, I am made purely out of hatred, anger, and fury. I have to.
Yeah, Cole's gun. We need someone to hate Sony.
Yeah, exactly. That's me.
So some cool news. Some cool news. Grim Dawn is coming to Xbox on December 3rd. So if you're into Diablo-like style games, that one is just around the corner.
I know a bunch of people who would really like that. Yeah,
I'm excited about that one. Some sad news. Saints Row was delayed until August 23rd of next year. So February no more. It is going to next summer.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. There is not a single game that an announcement of being delayed would make me sad. Just because, like, I am always a proponent of just make sure you release a game that fucking works. That's all I care. Yep. If that takes you an extra year, there are thousands of other games to play at any given time. Make sure the shit works. That's all I care about.
Agreed. They just got to make it work. Dying Light 2 devs say that there is 0 chance of another delay for their game, so that one should be on track to release.
That's That being said, that is very, you are just asking for trouble.
Oh, they are. Absolutely.
Well, because wasn't the big thing with Halo Infinite? They came out like 2 or 3 times and said, yeah, co-op will definitely be with launch. Co-op will definitely be with launch. And then co-op's not going to be with launch, everybody. We're sorry. Anyway, here you go.
Here's multiplayer early. Please don't hate us.
I'm confused how they got the multiplayer done, but not the co-op. Because it uses a lot of the same mechanics between the two of them. If they got them,
I'm sure it's a lot more complex than any of us know.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know a lot, so.
Me neither. None of us know shit. We're dumb. Multiverses was officially revealed by Warner Brothers Games. It is going to be a free-to-play game with rollback netcode, cross-play and cross-progression. It's going to release 2022 for Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, PS5, PC. And then there's the characters. So far, the confirmed character list is Arya Stark, Batman, Bugs Bunny, Finn from Adventure Time, Garnet from Steven Universe, Harley Quinn, Jake the Dog from Adventure Time, Rain Dog, a new character that they just made the fuck up, Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, Steven Universe, Superman, Tom and Jerry, and Wonder Woman.
Okay, that sounds not terrible.
I am very curious to see how this game turns out because they are hyping up like tons of characters coming via updates and an ever-evolving lineup of characters. I think Gandalf was someone that was confirmed. I think Rick from Rick and Morty. So I'm excited to see what the hell goes on, especially because they're going to have actual authentic voice acting. So that's one thing it has over that Nickelodeon game. They're going to have the actual voice actors doing this stuff.
That's kind of exciting. I'm looking forward to that a lot more now.
The fuck is Rain Dog? That's so weird. like after you mentioned that, I had to go look it up because I was like, maybe Joe just didn't do his homework, and it's like, no, there is no word on what the fuck Rain Dog is.
It's just a new character.
I'm wondering if it's like an upcoming like Cartoon Network show or some shit.
It could
like
be
a character from that. Because this thing's not going to be out for a while, right?
Well, 2022 sometime.
Oh my god! Wait, you can already sign up for playtesting.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but that's the news I got. Jacob, what do you have?
So report from Video Games Chronicle says that Xbox is definitely making a new 1 versus 100 game.
Yeah, a lot of people were hoping that would be announced during the anniversary celebration, but nope.
Yeah, I was really fond of this game way back in the day. Like, I never got chosen to be one of the 100. And also I never won any of the prizes, but But yeah, it was always fun, and like I actually met like a couple of people like through playing it, and like we used to like play pretty regularly.
Yeah, it was a fun game. I hope it comes back. I hope it does well, and I hope they keep it for longer than like a year.
Yeah, and it was a really chill game, and it was just like it was something that you could always tune in to go play, because they had games running like literally every 30 minutes, and so it was just like it was just really cool, and I miss that, and it would be really nice for Xbox to have something like that again. Let's see. Take-Two is actually getting sued on multiple fronts about the Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition.
Oh, geez.
So there's already people trying to sue because they released a broken game a la Cyberpunk 2077. And Rockstar is like, oh, well, we just released some patches. If you're still having issues, contact us again in 2 days. And people are just like, no, we want a freaking refund. And people down in Australia are apparently already like gearing up for a legal battle because of how refunds work down there. Not sure.
You're guaranteed if you don't like it.
Yeah. And then on top of it, people who were making mods for the previous version of these GTA games, they are now some of them are actually now going to be taking Take-Two to court, saying that their mods were actually fair use and legitimate, mods or whatever, instead of like there's no actual copyright infringement happening with these.
Yeah.
And so,
and if they had money, they would totally win.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, this is actually like attorneys are actually representing them on this, so we might actually be seeing this go to court.
That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, and then the only other news that I have is that this week Atari has launched a label called Atari XP, which is going to be releasing new and rare games for the original Atari 2600 system. They've released 3 games that were written but never released back in the 80s, Aquaventure, Yar's Return, and Saboteur. They're available for $50 as a standard edition, or $150 into some sort of special edition thing that includes posters, instruction manuals, pins, and a certificate of authenticity with them. But of course, with releasing these, there is a snafu. They're claiming that all 3 of them were created by somebody named Howard Scott Warshaw, and he's come back and said that he only wrote one of them, and he's not sure why his name is being attached to the other 2. So,
well, I'm sure Glenn Case will be excited to hear about some new Atari games because he loves the old school stuff like that. Ryan, do you collect Atari stuff at all?
Accidentally. I don't actively do it, but it's just one of those things that almost all of my Atari collection is because somebody went, "Hey, you like video games, right? Do you want this box of Atari shit?" And I'll go, yes, I do. Because I will never say no to a box of free video games.
True.
But I've never hooked my Atari up just because almost every one of those games, there's a much easier way to play them that's out.
Very true.
Various compilations and like I'm not even talking emulation either. Just like legally, there's a billion Atari compilations to play anything I'd want to, really.
Yeah. Last thing about these Atari things, I should have said, Warshaw is not just some guy either. He's the guy who created Yar's Revenge, which is one of the most recognizable titles for the Atari.
Never heard of it.
Okay, well, you suck, Joe. Anyway.
I'm joking, you fool.
Well, good. I look forward to taking improv classes with Aki. Anyway, however, he is also the guy who was responsible for E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Oh.
So,
which not his fault. He gave him 6 weeks by himself.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think anyone actually blames him for it, but in case you needed some games to attach to the name, those are the 2.
You guys want to hear something funny? Do you know who the world record holder is for E.T.?
Who's that?
Glenn Case.
Wait, wow. What do you mean? What do you mean world record holder?
Like
speed running the game?
Yeah.
Oh God.
He holds the world record for E.T.
Does he have like a certificate or something, or
I don't remember what he has,
how's
but
it recognized?
I don't remember.
Well,
I'll
damn it,
look
Joe,
it up.
You just can't give us random bits of trivia.
Sure, I can.
The worst.
It might be on Guinness. I don't know.
Case ET.
I don't know. Either that or on. It doesn't matter. Ryan, any news on your end? Anything you want to talk about?
No.
Nothing.
That's all I got. No.
What's going on in your life? Any shows coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm in Thanksgiving weekend. I'm in Burlington, Vermont. If you're going to be there. And then the week after that, I'm in Naples, Florida, and then Bend, Oregon. So that's kind of that. And then the tickets aren't on sale yet, but this is kind of exciting. December 19th in Nashville at Zany's, I am recording a special, which is fun.
Ooh.
Ooh, is that going to air somewhere?
That is the plan. So we're shooting it
I'm
very
sorry, that was a
professionally.
really fucking dumb question. No, we're just going to record it. And
It's like Prince. It's like Prince, where I'm just going to have a vault of all my best comedy. I'm going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to record this and then just keep it in the vault.
And then only when you die in like 60 years are they going to release like one special at a time.
Exactly.
60 years? Really? Okay.
Yeah, and we're just going to
No, that's when they'll release it, not when he dies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I might not make it through the month, quite frankly.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. This ticker ain't lasting too much longer.
But yeah, we're recording it to then shop around. So it will be airing somewhere, but I'm not recording this specifically for one entity, if that's what you're asking. It's to be shopped around to those entities to see if they'll buy it.
Do you have any potential takers yet, or is it just going to be like a wait and see how it goes and shop it around then?
It's kind of a wait and see thing. I'll be honest, I don't understand that part of the business very well, but I have a manager who does. So that's her job.
Your job is just to make people laugh. So
yep, I just need to tell really funny dick jokes. That's
any good dick jokes, you know?
I mean, yeah, there might be some docking conversation now. That's apparently hot, I hear.
Nice.
I caught a clip online of, oh God, what was it? Someone said you were cheating with like their brother or something.
Excuse me?
Like some bit where some heckler.
Oh yeah, someone. I talked about how I used to love being in a long distance relationship with my then girlfriend, now wife. And I was like in the middle of starting that. It's like, oh, I loved being in a long distance relationship. And some woman in the audience was like, she cheating on you. And then it was 5 minutes of me yelling at her for assuming.
Like, do you get a lot of hecklers? What do you usually do to take care of them?
You make them feel dumb. I honestly don't like most heckling that I get is just general people being loud. I don't get a lot of, and this is a knock on wood situation, I don't get a lot of you suck kind of heckles. It's more somebody doesn't know how to use their inside voice or stays on their phone kind of thing. Generally speaking, the way to deal with a heckler is you turn the audience against them. If you can convince the other, 200 people in the room that one person is wasting their money and time, that'll generally take care of it pretty quick.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty great how you handled that situation. I was laughing my ass off. I am very excited to see what you do with the special.
Thank you. Hopefully no one heckles during the actual recording of the special. That would be bad. But
you never know. It could lead to something fun. Well,
yeah, maybe. Like there's always the chance it could lead to something fun, but then like that's like the double-edged sword of being a comedian. Like you have to get good at handling hecklers because it's just part of the deal. And you don't want it to like ruin every show that someone heckles. But if you get too good at handling it, people want to heckle you more because now they're helping. So
I'm sure Bill Burr deals with a ton of hecklers just because he's so good at just destroying them.
Yeah, I mean, my buddy Steve Hofstetter built most of his following originally through doing heckler videos because he's really good at handling them. So now it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. People will say dumb shit because they hope that he makes a video about them.
Oh, God.
I love the YouTube channel. It's so fun.
Oh, geez. Well, I know we've had you on for a while. We should probably get to reviews because you got one to do. Is everyone ready to get to the reviews?
I was not, because I wanted to give an update about Glenn and ET.
Okay, let's hear it.
You are correct. And it's verified by Twin Galaxies. He holds number one for most point, top points or whatever the fuck you want to call it. High score of 1,058,399. The person in second place is 122,848. And he has held this record as of December 22nd of this year. He will have held it for 10 years.
Nice.
Okay, and that's a points record?
That is a points record, and the only other person since then to attempt it is some dude named Patrick from 2020 who only got 6,848 points.
Suck it, Patrick.
This is a record that nobody is going after.
Yeah, the speed run record that I'm looking at now, though, is by someone named Carter44, who has beaten the game, rolled credits in just under 54 seconds.
Oh, geez. That's 54 seconds more than anyone should spend playing that game.
Sure.
Jeez.
All right, so review time?
Yeah, we can do reviews.
All right, first game to talk about tonight is called Marsupilami Hoobadventure, developed by Ocellus, published by Microids, released November 16th on Xbox One, Switch, PS4, and PC for $29.99. Punch, Twister, and Hope are three Marsupilamis who live in a peaceful life in Colombia. While their three companions open a cursed sarcophagus by playing with debris on a beach, they inadvertently release a mysterious ghost that puts a terrible curse on all animals. Our three heroes will have to go on an adventure to chase the ghost in order to ward off the spell. Jacob, tell us about your time with Marsupilami Hoobadventure.
So, I was kind of excited about this because if you remember, there was a cartoon based on Marsupilami back in the 90s that was done by Disney, and I was just like, oh, well, cool. I guess, everything's retro and coming back. Well, apparently Marsupilami is this, French-European thing, and it never actually went away. Just the Disney show ended. So this is the second game in this month from Microids that I've reviewed. That's a licensed game. The one previous was that Smurfs game. And honestly, I thought I was going to be getting into this 3D platformer thing. It's actually 2D platformer. But don't let that deter you if that was going to. The controls are pretty damn tight, and you roll, you hit, you jump, and the levels they're decently challenging on a kid level. My kids were having some issues with it. But they were still having lots of fun because the game, there is a very easy mode, which you pretty much take almost no damage during. But even on the normal levels, it's still tossing out health and extra lives like they're friggin' candy.
Oh yeah, I think I was on the first level and I was already up to 19 extra lives.
Yeah, we're currently sitting at 35. They just never end. And I'm not sure how exactly you earn all the extra lives except for when it tells you, oh, extra life. I think the coins have something to play in with it, but I'm not totally sure, but whatever. Anyways, so the whole basis is that, you and your friends are hanging out on the beach. You've released this pirate ghost thing, and it just turns all the other animals on the island wacky. And they're against you, but I don't know what's exactly going on with them, because it's not like Sonic where all of a sudden you just free these little animals that fly off. They kind of just disappear, so I don't know if you're actually killing everyone or what's happening on the island.
You were murdering your friends in this game.
Well, there was a spiked wall that because when you use your tail to punch or blast or whatever it is, yeah, I definitely flung a bunch of animals into a spiked wall, and I'm just not sure what's going on, but okay.
They were evil. They deserved it. Fuck them.
Yeah, I mean, they're all under the possession of whatever. But anyway, so you move through, and it's standard 2D platforming stuff. You've got platforms that, shift and disappear, but
there's collectibles and secret areas you could find in levels.
And it's just, you move through. The levels are designed pretty well. There's plenty of variety to them. I never really got bored with the game. and there's not really much of a boss fight with most of the level or with the worlds as is, because it's really just you're just chasing after the ghost guy. When I'm assuming that the final like confrontation will be to eventually beat the ghost guy. I haven't gotten there yet, but honestly, like the game's pretty solid, and I'm honestly really impressed with it.
I like the visual style too. I wasn't too sure when I saw the new design for the Marsupilami. Like if you remember what the old cartoons look like, it has a completely different visual style to it, and I thought it worked really well, and it looks really cute.
Yeah, it's a good game. I mean, like there's plenty for kids to enjoy, but there's also a lot for adults to like for the seasoned platformer fan to enjoy. And there's alternate levels. There's also time trials, so if you want to try speed running and stuff like that, you could do that. There's a lot to do in this game, and I thought it was a good value. Or wait, how much is
it's only $30? $30
I'm okay with. Yeah, I'm going to shut up cheap ass Jacob on this one. $30 is fine.
Yeah, this is something I would have expected like a $40 price tag on. Microids usually has things priced a little higher than some other companies, but $30 on this I thought is really fair. There's 3 worlds with like 20 some levels in it. It just I agree that it's a really solid game. I think Microids is doing really well lately. It seems like they're releasing a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, with the 2 licensed games, I mean, because licensed games are always like a dime a dozen.
And they usually suck.
Yeah, but honestly, between the Smurfs and this one, these are really solid titles. So hopefully Microids keeps churning out more games like this.
Cool. Well, $30 your official verdict?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a definitely good game to pick up.
Cool. All right. Moving on. Next game to talk about is Faraday Protocol, developed by Red Koi Box, published by Deck 13 Spotlight, released August 12th on Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, PS4, and PS5 for $24.99. Faraday Protocol is a first-person puzzle game that will test your wits and intelligence, challenging your critical thinking. You are Rog Zekon, interstellar archaeologist from planet Cunor. You've been sent by your company to investigate the source of a mysterious signal coming from an unexplored star. Aki, tell us about your time with Faraday Protocol.
Okay, you're an archaeologist, actually, and so you're here to see if this is an ancient civilization and all that other fun stuff, and you step out of your little itty-bitty spaceship, and you find this empty area filled with nature and a few pyramids, and you're like, okay, well, let's figure out what's going on. And you immediately fall into a recruit station where you have to just solve puzzles to get to the next room over and over and over until you finish it. All while an AI is trying to direct you through them, saying, good job occasionally, until you're much further in and then they change their tone.
Do they get like sassy with you?
No, they just they just change their tune. They're very much kind of like the one from Portal. I forgot her name. Oh my god, GLaDOS. Yes. They get very unhappy the further you get. Yeah, it's a lot like to me it was a lot like Chromagun. I'm pretty sure we reviewed that forever ago. I think Cole did. Which is kind of like Portal. You take energy from things, and there's 2 different colored energies. There's blue and red, and then you shoot them into statues that are of the same color to get energy to move around, so you can open doorways and cause lifts to work and things like that, so you can solve the puzzles. And that's pretty much all there is to it. The game takes a while just because there's a lot of these puzzles. They do add some extra mechanics in it, like there's a way to convert the energy from red to blue and blue to red. You start being able to link nodes together by using the blue energy, etc., etc. But most of it is just making the puzzles a little more complex, because sometimes you have to push buttons to create different symbols to appear and things like that, and you have to power them with the energies. so you can solve those puzzles. It's a lot of the same handful of puzzles, just more and more complex as you go through it. There's not much of a story. You're literally just going through it. I thought it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. It's not super hard. Even the very last puzzle isn't particularly all that hard. Requires you to push like a handful of buttons over and over, and that's it.
Jeez.
Simple. Yeah.
It's not really a true test of your wits and intelligence. It's more of just like a relaxing kind of thing.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. There's a couple hard puzzles, but like 99% of them are really not that hard. The biggest issue with it is just trying to figure out how to get through some of the larger rooms, because you have to get energy to different things and you only have so much of said energy. So you have to figure out what you have to do in what order is the hardest part of it, really, and that's not all that particularly amazingly hard.
Cool. Well, the game is sitting at $24.99. What are your thoughts on it?
I'm for it. I think it took me like 8 hours, 10 hours to beat it. So yeah, I think it's pretty good for its price.
Cool. Sounds good. Next game is The Solitaire Conspiracy, developed by Bithell Games, published by Ant Workshop, released November 3rd on Xbox Series X and S and PS5 for $9.99. We need your help, Spy Master. Join a world of near-future spies and take on a supervillain in the supercharged take on classic Solitaire. Precision engineered for replayable espionage action. Ryan, tell us about The Solitaire Conspiracy.
The Solitaire Conspiracy I played this week. It's so the basic premise of the game, without getting into too much spoiler country, as I don't know how approved that is. You are essentially a recruited spy who has to kind of like work your way up to be able to like take back over this network through Solitaire. Essentially, it's sort of like the Solitaire games that you do are what helps you kind of level up to get to like level 15 protocol spy, so you can kind of take over everything. It's an odd take on Solitaire that I enjoyed initially, because Solitaire is what it is. This tried to put like a story and a spin behind it. The story's all right. It stars, there's some like live action video stuff in between, like the cutscenes between the levels. It has Greg Miller, who I think is from Kind of Funny Games, if I'm not mistaken, as kind of
one of them.
Like,
I can't remember. There's so many game outlets that I can't keep them straight anymore.
And they bounce around every year. So, but I believe he's from Kind of Funny though. And he's sort of the one who's kind of like onboarding you to this. And essentially what the gameplay is, you have these kind of 2 columns, 4 on each side, that will have a certain amount of cards depending on how many stacks you need to finish. And each type of deck will have a different crew behind it. That's kind of like their way of basically doing how the power-ups are divvied out. So like this crew can do this power-up and this crew can do that. And once you get the ace to the middle, it activates the power-ups. So the crew members who are the face cards will then have the power-ups attached to them. Unlike normal Solitaire, you can move to any other stack onto a card that's higher. So you can put a 2 on a queen, you can put a 7 on a king. It doesn't matter as long as it's lower. And basically you work your way through the stack that way to get everything to the middle. The power-ups can be useful or detrimental depending on which one you have. Like there's one that you put on top of the deck and it puts everything now in order from the lowest numbered cards on the edge. Some will do the exact opposite of that. Some reset your progress for that suit in the middle. So that took a little bit of adjusting to. The game is not long. Getting 100% completion on doing everything, it took me 4 hours. So it doesn't overstay its welcome, especially at the price. The cutscene and the story behind it, it's fun. You're not getting Oscar-winning performances, but I do like that they tried something different with it. Like it's very intense, but not in a way where I don't think they did it trying to win an Oscar, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's very kind of tongue in cheek and fun. The one major issue I had with the game is it's not very hard, and the difficulty doesn't really ramp up in any considerable way. Once it's kind of slowly introduced you in it. Like the first couple levels you do only has one deck, so that's really easy to maneuver your way through. Then, now you're working with 2 crews, and now you have 2 decks you have to go through. It eventually gets up to 4 at the end, but that's kind of what it does, and it just repeats itself, but with different crews available, so you have different power-ups to work with. I didn't fail on any of them whatsoever. There was some that kind of made my head go, okay, well, how do I move that? I didn't fail. I didn't have to reset the board once on any of them. It was fine. There's a couple other modes you can do. I guess before I get to that, there's the way you kind of can make it artificially harder for you. There's the normal kind of casual version where you get as many moves as you want. You can get more XP if you do the version of the puzzle where you have to solve it in a certain amount of moves. So that can add a little bit of extra challenge to it. Not really enough that's going to add 8 more hours of gameplay or anything.
Yeah, I stuck with casual. I don't like the pressure of having to do it in X number of moves. It's just let me do it at my pace.
Yeah. About half of the levels, I accidentally did it in the certain amount of moves, and then some I was way over. So I don't know if that meant I was just really good, if it was a randomized board that just happened to work out for me on some of those.
Oh, no, you were really good. You were awesome, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. That's all I wanted to hear. I knew I was good, but I wanted you to say it. Yeah. There's a couple other extra modes that you unlock after you've kind of gone through the story. There's just the skirmish mode, which is literally just playing one of the boards, and you can pick between 1 or 4 of the crews. So if you want to try it with different power-ups and challenge yourself, not a whole lot of gameplay there, but just something a little fun to do if you just want to play a match instead of play the story. And then there was the countdown mode, which I had the most fun with. It's a timed mode where it starts off very easy. Every card you solve, you start with 1 deck out there. Every card you solve, you add like 3 seconds to your timer. It's a constantly running timer. And you just like do wave after wave after wave until you run out of time. For the last achievement, you had to get to wave 15 to do that. I think I got to wave 16 when I eventually figured it out. Once your brain wraps around how it works, it's not super hard, but it's a little challenging. Overall, I enjoyed the game. It lasted about as long as I was having fun with it. I think, if they would have doubled the levels, I would have been a little upset, but it hit like the sweet spot, I think.
It's good when a game doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah. Not everything needs to be, a 300-hour epic. Sometimes
we don't need the Skyrim of solitaire games.
Exactly.
That's what 3D solitaire is for.
Yeah, there's no annoying like online you got to do, or you don't like it wasn't a grind to level up, or anything like that. I initially got a little worried. I was like, how many games of this am I going to have to play to get to level 15? And it's honestly not that high. It's fine. And like I said, for $10, I think it's definitely worth giving a play. Even if you don't love solitaire, this is different enough, and the aesthetic of it is really cool that I think it's worth giving at least a shot to.
Cool. Well, our review scale is buy it, try it, or deny it. What are your thoughts for $10?
For $10, I would buy it.
Cool.
For $10, if it was 15 to 20, it would be try it at that point. But I would say buy it. It's worth it for $10. 5 hours for $10 is a pretty good value, I think, and the game is fun.
Cool. Sounds good. All right, well, that is it for you, Ryan. It was awesome having you on. We will let you go so you can enjoy the rest of your night. Tell us, where can people keep up to date with you and what you're doing?
CrippleThreat.com, @CrippleThreat8 on all the things. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, Xbox Live, Grindr, probably. I probably set up an account there at some point.
Well, I mean, how
I'll
else
find
are you
there.
do your docking?
I know, that's where I got to get my docking in, for sure. And then, CrippleThreat.com has my calendar, so you can find me on the road, and I'm sure I'll be back on this show again soon.
I'm sure. We love having you on, so come back soon, and you have yourself an awesome night.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Take it easy.
Later.
All right, next game to talk about is Total Arcade Racing, developed and published by Pretty Fly Games, released November 18th on Xbox One for $9.99. Relive your childhood memories and take this fun arcade racing game for a ride. Total Arcade Racing is a tribute to classic arcade racing games where you zip around in closed circuits, compete with players from around the world, and see if you could reach number one in the Hall of Fame leaderboard. Jacob, I know you didn't hit number one because I saw your scores.
Bullshit, I did. I took a screenshot. I am number one in Endless.
Were you the only one?
Fuck you, no I wasn't. There's only like 6 people, but I'm number one.
So how's the game?
I took a screenshot to freaking prove it. Because I knew you'd be like, Jacob, you didn't do it. Shut up. Go up on my Xbox profile. I did it. Anyway. So.
Tell us about the game.
So it's a top-down racer, very reminiscent of like the old, do you remember like the Micro Machines games from way back in the day?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right, well, anyway, it reminded me a lot of
what the fuck? I said yes. I don't
know. I mean, it just seemed like, yeah, I'm okay.
I said, uh-huh.
Anyway, whatever.
I'm agreeing with you, you dick.
I hate you.
I'm gonna cut you so hard.
I love you, Joe.
No, you don't.
No, you're right. Damn right I don't.
I do not see it on your profile yet.
Whatever. Fine. I'll upload it. I did it. My dad works at Nintendo. Anyway, so it's a lot like those old top-down retro racers. And, you know, it's just you're going around the track and you're competing against other people. And there's really, like, not a lot to it. Although I will say this, the controls they're pretty slick. It felt right. I didn't feel like I was I had to overcompensate on the turns or the car ever felt sluggish or anything like that. The tracks are nice and varied, but I mean, like, you know, it's, as I said, it's a retro racer. There's only so much that they're going to do. And I believe you can have up to, I think it's 8 people doing local multiplayer. I think it might only be 4. I'm not totally sure, but there were a bunch of slots. However, there is no online multiplayer, which I was a little surprised by because that's actually how they pulled the AI for the other modes. So essentially, you're more or less racing against a ghost when you're just doing it by yourself, which I thought was an interesting. I thought that was a pretty interesting way of doing it. So, I mean, I guess you don't have to so much program the AI as much. I don't know how it works, but that's what I was doing because I was beating other people's records, and it was like, congratulations, you are now like blah blah blah, like you're this on the leaderboard. That's why when I was playing the endless mode, which is also my most favorite mode in this game, I'll get to that in a second. That's why when I was like when I died or whatever. That's why I took the screenshot because it was just like, congratulations, you're now number 1. And I was like, hell yeah. Like, and I recognized some of the names from True Achievements because, you know, we're all a bunch of like early streamers, reviewers or whatever. Like, so I was just like, oh yeah, I beat that guy. But anyway, so there's multiple things. I mean, you could do regular races, you could do time trials. My favorite is Endless, which is, as you might imagine, an endless track. And what you're doing is you're just driving along the track and you're trying to make it from point A to point B. And while you're doing it, you're also doing your damnedest to not crash into other people, because if you do, they get angry at you and they start coming after you. And so like if you accidentally like sideswipe like 2 or 3 cars, you're now going to have 2 or 3 other cars like madly trying to come after you.
No, that's beautiful.
It really is, and like they could they will seriously mess up your car and make your car explode, just out of spite. And so it just ends up becoming this survival. It really ends up just becoming a survival mode, not an endless mode. And yeah, and it's just you just go off and do that. As I said, I was a little surprised that there's no online multiplayer for it. You know, maybe it would be kind of cool in the future, but. Because I mean, if you're gonna pull all of our information from online leaderboards and pull like ghosts and all that kind of stuff, you know, maybe actually have functionality for it. But it's not it's not the worst thing for it, but it's a lot of fun. And it really caught me by surprise because honestly, I went in here thinking this is just going to be like some crap top-down racer, and I just, as I said, I ended up having a blast with it. The endless mode is really what sets it apart from the other titles that from the other top-downs that I've had to play.
I think the big thing that sets it apart for me is if you go into the options, something that's enabled from the start is steering assist, and it makes.
Oh, I didn't even mess with the.
Yeah, there's I don't remember what the official name of it is, but it makes the steering smoother. So if you've noticed it's easier to play this game than a lot of top-down racers, it's because the game's helping you, and it's fucking awesome because it plays really well.
Meanwhile, I'm over here like, I'm doing so well. Ooh, me, I'm a good racer. No, you just had steering assist on, you dumbass.
Well, no, it doesn't like steer for you. It just it makes it easier and smoother to steer. Like I wish I had the game open so I could look at what the hell it is.
Yeah, but
anyway, the game is $10. What do you think?
$10, absolutely. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad it's got local multiplayer. I wish there was some online for it, but it is what it is. Once, if you're comfortable playing with other people on your couch, get some people over, play this. It's a lot of fun. And honestly, as I said, that endless mode, that in itself is worth $10. Everything else is just a damn bonus in this game for me. So
cool. And it is called Steer Assist. So there you go. Cool. And it's on by default. So thank you, Pretty Fly Games, for making a game like this that actually steers well and is fun to play and is not fucking frustrating.
It makes me #1 in the world.
Yeah, sure. Jacob, that's it for you. Are you going to hang around or are you bouncing?
I am not, but I do have a planned word of, ending words and stuff like that.
Okay.
Well, so we didn't really talk about it, but there is a Black Friday sale going on for Xbox right now. And, as we were talking and stuff like that, I was going through it to finally see what got posted. Jump Force, which is getting sunsetted. It's getting delisted in February, sunset in sometime this summer. It is actually on sale for $15 for the Ultimate Edition. So, if you want to get this game, get it now.
There you go. Cool. Have yourself a good one.
All right. Bye.
Fuck off. Next game to talk about is Despotism 3K, developed by Konfa Games, published by Overgamez, released November 19th on Xbox One for $10.99. Humanity is enslaved by an AI, which is awesome because we're on the right side of the conflict. Exploit puny humans to extract power and build your own empire. You'll have to keep track of them to make sure they don't succumb to exhaustion and hunger, although the weakest ones could always be thrown to the bioreactor. Aki, tell us about your time with Despotism 3K.
This game's hard.
What is it?
Basically, you're playing as an arrogant AI, and you have a few humans at the beginning, and you put them to work in one of a few different areas, either in developing energy that for some reason you require, and as days pass, more and more energy is used for, I don't fucking know because it never explains that, but that's the way to make the game harder. Food for your humans, or you can make them fuck, so that you produce more humans to put into the machines.
Well, it is M-rated, so there you go.
Yeah. Or obviously, when they get too tired, you can also just pick them up and throw their asses into a bioreactor, which turns them into goo that the other humans can eat and also provides you a little bit of power. So, yay. Throughout the game, there's little mini events that pop up, and there's random ones pop up. There's like 80 or so of them that happen at random. Some of them do nothing but hurt you in bad ways. Other times they can be like, for instance, there's one where Doc Ock's pincher arms show up, and if you talk to them correctly, they will join you, and they move people between the different areas faster. But there's also a chance that they'll kill the people when they pick them up just because they don't like people. So, so yeah. There's another one that basically just gives you a portal, so you can immediately portal people out of their holding cell and into the bioreactor if you want, so you don't have to waste any time moving the arms around, because that takes time and that makes everything go slower. And you need to move fast to get that energy, because if you don't get that energy, you gone dead fucked up and you're starting right back at 1. Oh, it's so easy to fuck up. It's so easy to fuck up. There's 2 campaigns in the game, and I haven't managed to beat one campaign to even unlock the other campaign.
Oh, geez.
And there's a hardcore mode too.
Oh no.
Makes it even harder, and you have to beat all 3 of them for achievements. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to just beat the main campaign even. I have tried and tried and tried, and geez. It's all about really just moving fast enough and buying upgrades at just the right point in order to keep going. Because if you buy too many upgrades and it's like, oh yeah, we're taking energy, and you don't have quite enough energy because you just bought an upgrade and it put you just slightly under, well, now you're fucked and you have to start over. But you don't want to keep near the top of it for too long, because then you're just wasting energy that you could be buying upgrades with. It's like it's just, there's a lot of little things to keep track of, and you have to be right on the fucking ball. And this game is more made for a mouse than a gamepad, sadly.
I'm pretty sure it was originally PC, so.
Yeah, it was. It's been on PC for years now.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But yeah, there's lots of other modes that you can unlock as well as you play the game via the various events that show up. Some of them are beneficial, some of them really aren't, and I don't know why they exist. Like my favorite one, I don't know how you unlock it anymore, but basically it takes the most tired individuals and throws them in the bioreactor when you put people in the bioreactor, which makes it easier because in the standard campaign, it just grabs the top 2, which are always the new people, the ones who are really good, the ones that are still healthy, and throws them in there and leave the tired ones left because they're at the bottom. And it's like, you motherfucker. So going in that other mode, it grabs the crappiest 2 and throws them in there for you. And it's like, okay, that's like a fucking godsend. That is the best way to play the game. But yeah, you can upgrade all your different items. Obviously, upgrading each area mostly just allows you to put more people in it. Some of them also increase how much energy or food they make per second, or lowers how many seconds it takes. The fucking one, it just adds more people into it, so you get more babies out. And then the one that holds people, you can just hold more and more people. So, yeah. Oh, and you can upgrade your arms, so you have more arms, so you can move things faster. I don't even know what the fucking limit to that is. But through events, obviously, you can gain 4 from Doc Ox. For some reason, he only has 4. Just for free for completing that one, which is cool. There's another event where you can turn some of them of your arms into tentacles by talking with Cthulhu.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's all over the fucking place. I haven't even seen a quarter of the different fucking things. Matter of fact, I looked at a list from the Steam version of it, and I found ones that weren't even on that. And the person's like, yeah, I don't know if I found them all because they're so randomized. But here's a list of like 80-ish, I think, or something like that. And it's insane. There are some story events that are required to go through, but there's only a few of them. There's like 3, I think. I've never gotten to the 3rd one because, again, I suck. But you have to survive 25 days, I think it was, and then the campaign's over. You've succeeded. You finished. The furthest I've gotten is day 12.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one.
It's extremely hard. I was so expecting this just to be a little chill game. This is not a chill fucking game. This is stressful as shit.
Well, it's only $11, so what do you think of it?
If you like rage games, if you like games where you're like, I want to just be super focused in the moment, keeping track of every little thing, this is totally for you, and I 100% suggest this. If stuff isn't for you, you're not going to have a fun time with this. This is not going to be enjoyable for you. So it's really
tread lightly and maybe you try it.
Yeah, very much so.
Cool. All right. Next game to talk about is Encodya, developed by Chaosmonger Studio, published by SML Entertainment, released November 4th on Xbox One, Switch, and PS4 for $29.99. Tina, a 9-year-old orphan, lives with Sam, 53, her big clumsy robot guardian, in a rooftop makeshift shelter in Neo-Berlin 2062, a dark megalopolis controlled by corporations. Tina is an urban jungle kid who has learned to live alone, scavenging from city dumpsters and eking out a living from scraps. Her funny robot is always with her, programmed to protect her no matter what. Surlyna wrote in a review of this one. Let's see what she's got to say. Says, hello, SML lovelies, friends, and fam. It's your girl, Surlyna, and this week I'm reviewing Encodya for the Nintendo Switch. Let's get to the review. Encodya is a point-and-click puzzle game that has you playing as Tina, a 9-year-old living on the streets of Neo-Berlin in this futuristic cyberpunk dystopian world with her faithful robot companion caretaker, Sam, 53. This is the starting point, and it's pretty crazy. The world that Tina is forced to survive in is incredibly harsh, and I couldn't help but peep some of the similarities between this world and ours. And in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way, the devs remind us at the beginning that this is a work of fiction. I see what y'all did. Anyway, Tina's parents died before the beginning of the game. The reason she has a robot is that the birth rate for the world is falling drastically. In order to incentivize the populace to pump out them babies, the government has a law that every newborn is assigned a robot at birth. Tina's robot, Sam 53, is completely devoted to her. He's her faithful companion, parent, and helper. He's also playable, but we'll get to that in a second. This world is filled with tons of lore and people to talk to. However, the more I learned, the more shocked I became. It's intriguing, but it's not a happy place for an adult, let alone a 9-year-old. Yet we must all survive as Tina does. Let's get to the gameplay. As a point and click, you would think it's fairly simple, but Encodya has some surprising and lively gameplay. It's very much point and click, but you can also have the options to use the items you gather creatively. In order to solve some puzzles, you'll have to combine those items to make new items that will help you progress. I love that mechanic in any game, but in a point and click, it just makes sense. Also, how you use the items is dependent on who's in control. Yes, you can swap control between Tina and Sam. In some instances, you'll need to use Sam to get hard to reach places, as Tina's on the short side. Also, in talking with many NPCs in the game, Tina will get one reply and Sam will get a completely different reply. I would highly advise talking with everyone with both. Graphically, the game is depressingly and hauntingly compelling. It looks good, but remember, this is a dystopian world, so as you take in the scenery, the thought of how in the hell did it get this bad will pop up every so often. I felt a sense of awe and sadness as I continue to explore this world. Neo-Berlin feels expansive and open, with nooks and crannies to figure out. There's a couple things I didn't enjoy about the game. The first is the movement. It feels incredibly clunky and slow. I'd expect that movement from Sam, as he's a big old robot, but it still felt forever to get from point A to point B. Made even worse because the exits don't always highlight either, so I'm literally rubbing Tina or Sam up against the exit in hopes of them just leaving. Another thing that irked me is that the game will tell you how to use how you may need to combine the items, but it won't tell you how to use those items. This mechanic isn't a mere point and click. You have to select the item and place it on what you want to use. That's fine, but that's something that should have been explained by Sam. Encodya is available right now on the Switch and other platforms for $29.99, and should you buy it? Yes, I would give this one an absolute buy it. It's got a good story, and I had fun with the game. Another selling point is that it's accessible, meaning if you want it easy, you can get it easy. If you want it hard, it's got that too. Plus achievements for those who want virtual gratification. There's something for everyone here. That one sounds pretty good. I might have to give that one a go.
Yeah, its visual design is very cute. I remember it back when Cole reviewed it.
Did she?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even remember.
On Steam. Yeah, because I wanted it and she got it. Handle it.
Oh, well, you didn't get it on Switch either, so...
It'll come to Xbox eventually if it's not already there.
It is on Xbox. It released on Xbox on the 4th. We just got it on the Switch.
Oh, son of a bitch.
YOLO. Final game to talk about. We're going to take another look at Back for Blood. Warner Brothers provided us with a code for this a couple of weeks ago. Developed by Turtle Rock Studios, published by Warner Brothers Games. It released October 12th on Xbox One, Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and PC for $59.99. You are at the center of a war against the Ridden. These once human hosts of a deadly parasite have turned into terrifying creatures bent on devouring what remains of civilization. With humanity's extinction on the line, it's up to you and your friends to take the fight to the enemy, eradicate the Ridden, and reclaim the world. Aki, it's been a few weeks since the game's been out. How's it looking?
Well, I've been working on Veteran because I'm pretty sure I managed to beat the basic normal. There isn't an easy mode on this game. I'm pretty sure I beat normal when I did my review last time, and I was trying to do Veteran, and I couldn't manage it. I've managed to finish 1 act of Veteran out of 4 since then. It seems like the further you get into cards, the more specialized you can make your character, which makes it a little easier to get through Veteran. But everyone I've talked to is like, yeah, Nightmare's still a no-go for most people. Apparently there are a few people who have managed to do it. Fucking how, I don't know. But I have managed to find a couple groups where I managed to actually play through Veteran. I was like, okay, this isn't quite as bad as it was originally. Probably because these people actually have cards instead of all the idiots who decided, I just got this, let me play on Veteran, and they were not fucking prepared. Because this game, you really, really have to go through each difficulty one at a time. Because you need to, probably a couple times each actually, because you need to get the supply points in order to buy cards, and you really need to just keep doing that in hopes of getting some good cards that will propel you through Veteran and hopefully eventually prepare you to some very minor degree for the butt fucking you're going to get from Nightmare. Because it ain't using lube, folks. It ain't using lube at all. You
have a way with words.
I know, right? But yeah, I'm still really enjoying the game. It is pretty fun to play. I still wish it was not as hard because its difficulty still just seems kind of ridiculous. Like this is harder than most games I play on the hardest difficulty. And I don't see a reason for it to be quite so hard. And I haven't even touched Nightmare. I don't get why they decided to make it as hard as they did. Otherwise, I think this is a really fun game, and I'm still really enjoying it, even if it's kicking my ass on a regular basis.
Well, the game is $60. It's actually on sale as part of the Black Friday sale, at least on Xbox. It is $41.99, down from $60, or you could get the Ultimate Edition from $100 down to $70. What are your thoughts on the options?
I think you should just stick with the Standard Edition. There's not much going on in the Ultimate, is there?
Comes with the annual pass and the Ultimate Edition digital content.
Yeah, the digital content I think is just some skins, which I should have, but I haven't figured out where they are.
The annual pass, three upcoming downloadable content drops with a new story, playable characters, special mutated Ridden, and more. So we'll find out more about that in the future, obviously. So I guess it's not worth jumping in yet on that, but
they still need to do some modifying of the difficulty curve for this game. So yeah, I would stick with the normal version right now, just because we don't know what that DLC is going to end up being, and they still really, really need to work on the difficulty curve because this is ridiculous.
Cool. All right. Well, that is it for this episode. Made it through another one.
Awesome.
Yippee.
I wasn't sure I was going to make it.
Why?
Y'all talking about fucking docking constantly.
You wish you could join in.
God, no. None of you are attractive enough for that.
Hey, I take offense to that.
That's okay. You can.
That's the point. That was your very, very clear intention. That's right. Thanks to you for being here, hanging out. Thanks to Jacob for being here, hanging out. Big thanks to Ryan Niemiller for coming on, chatting with us, hanging out with us. Go see him if he is in your area. He is fucking funny as hell. His live show is fantastic. He's a really cool dude. You could chat with him after the show. He doesn't bite unless you ask him to. He might. It depends on his mood. Let's see. What kind of music should I play tonight? Do you have any thoughts or any suggestions? You don't give a shit about video game music, do you?
Not particularly. I want to hear Real Big Fish. That's all I want. Just play some Real Big Fish.
I can't. I'll play Sanic the Swinghag, which is some big band swing metal from our friends the Tiberian Sons. It's got brass in it.
Huh. I've never heard of swing metal. That should be interesting.
Well, there you go. So listen to it right now.